So out of curiosity, what fraction of your classes, say AP, are women, your students?
Well, when I was teaching at Brighton, my last year, I had about 120 kids enrolled in APB. There were more girls than boys. There were 70, 50.
Wow.
That wasn't true of the APC program. The APC program was still sort of a bastion of.
So what would be the fraction APC?
APC, we had enrollments of about 30, and I'd say there were 3 or 4 that was significant.
Okay.
Gets
Yeah.
them ready for college if they go into physics, unfortunately.
So that's, I mean, that's what I see. All right, when I walk in, I mean, in the pre-med classes, they're 50-50, actually just slightly more women. But if I walk into the physics sequence that most of our physics majors take, it's 10%, 20% on a good year. So the pipeline is generally closed before I ever see them. It's closed before they walk into APC often. So people really have agonized over the reasons for this. Many of you probably have deep insight into parts of it, but it's just simply a fact. And it's actually true across the STEM disciplines, except for in biology in general, when I look at it. So we wanted to try to do something to try to help women in the pipeline a bit, and that's really why we started the prep program. It's been going on for 15 years, I guess, roughly. It started out as outreach from our particle physics groups, and we still actually pull some money from the CMS collaboration at the LHC, the United States contributions to the LHC as part of our outreach. So it's a program we do each summer, running about 3 weeks. This year it'll be from July 5th through July 31. And we admit 9th and 10th grade women. And these are ones who haven't yet had physics in general. That's the approach. And we try to make this an enriching experience for them to help keep them in the pipeline. I think it's valuable to have all girls in the room for once, because boys have a bit of a different style, and we're not exactly sure what is constricting the pipeline, but the hope is that to the extent that society makes girls that are interested in science feel a little bit out of place, the idea is to provide an environment where they feel that they definitely have comrades, and so we're getting girls from throughout the area, and part of the program is simply to have them connect with each other. So we have a lot of social things. We do have speakers coming in, demos, tours of different labs, lectures. So we do have lectures every day that talk about bits and pieces of physics. We bring in speakers from throughout the university mostly. We try to bias this to give them female role models, but we'd rather have a good speaker than a female speaker who doesn't do a good job. So in a sense, the stress is biased a bit toward the female speakers, but if there's somebody that they know does a topic that's really fabulous and they're male, they certainly bring in those speakers as well. So the idea is to excite them about science and show them female role models. It is not really a place where we prepare them for AP Physics B. I mean, there's certainly, hopefully, a little bit about that, and we hope that maybe we make it a little less intimidating if they're intimidated by it, but it isn't a problem-solving sort of thing. So it's very conceptual and meant to be fun and enriching, and it's not all physics. I mean, if depends on the leaders. We tend to bring in, well, I always try to get 2 female undergraduates at the university who ideally are interested in a career in teaching and who are science majors. Try to get one of them to be a physicist and usually one to be engineer or chemist or even a biologist, but they have some interest in that direction. And then depending a little bit on their interests, they can tweak it. I mean, I try to give them some freedom to create it themselves. So We keep a careful notebook of all the things that were done last year, along with assessments of the different speakers and the lesson plans and everything that was done, the projects, and we hand that to them. And usually they'll go mostly by that because it's the first time they've done it, but they have some freedom to tweak it. So every year it's a little bit different. At any rate, it's free. It runs from about 9 to 3 each day, so there is problematic that way for some parents, but it is also a free thing. So we get a mix. We have very driven students who feel like this is a leg up on getting ahead, and we have students that are there because mom and dad saw free daycare. And so all we ask is that when we see that they look like someone who might benefit from such a thing, I guess. And I do worry if the student is a really poor student that would be in the room and feel really out of place, that sort of thing. On the other hand, we're not just trying to get the very best students that are out there or anything like that. It's not a super competitive sort of thing. And if you know of students who might be interested, I would be grateful if you would pass the word on to them or their parents. And Connie at pas.rochester.edu. And if you go to the U of R website for physics under special programs or something, you can find a web page on prep. But we'll be happy to send a pamphlet to you. In fact, I'm going to